Well, Sarah, I'm here with Lieutenant David Merrick of the police, and he has some updated information on the injuries, the origin of this building collapse, where the victims were taken, and how they were doing. First of all, we initially thought that the explosion or whatever it is that happened that caused these buildings to fall down was in 426, but now the investigation is showing that may not be the case, right?
That's correct. It originated at 428 Daly Street.
And your understanding is there was a contractor working in the downstairs of that house when this happened?
That's correct.
And tell me about the injuries, how many we have at this point, and who may have been taken where, the extent of the injuries.
So far, we have 5 persons taken at Jefferson. 2 would be infants, 3 would be adults. No serious injuries of any nature with those persons. The individual who was working inside of 28 was transported to HUP, who is now being transported to Temple. He had pretty extensive burns.
And I understand he had burns over about more than 20% of his body as a result of this, from what you're hearing?
That's correct.
So some of the neighbors were telling us that they had smelled gas overnight. Are you hearing that from the folks that are being interviewed from the block here?
The neighbors were saying that they smelled gas when we came on location. I don't know if it was overnight or just during the day, but they were saying that they did smell gas.
Did they have a report? I mean, did anyone call into PGW with these concerns overnight that you've heard of?
No. No.
And so I guess one of the lessons to be learned here before anything else is if you're suspicious about the smell of gas, even if you're not sure, make that phone call, right?
Call PGW or the police, one or the other.
Yeah. Better to investigate than have something like this occur. We haven't been able to get all the way down the block for safety concerns that continue at this hour. Tell me what it looks like from your perspective when you look at what's going on that street.
Actually, it's pretty amazing that more persons didn't get hurt because 2.5 homes are completely obliterated. Looks like the home just started to collapse in the middle of 26, spread to 28, and went to 30. So, to my surprise, there's no worse injuries.
And is the rubble now in the street, all over the place?
It pretty much collapsed right into the home, down into the basements. Not too much came in the street. Some debris did go on cars in front of the home, but not too much.
And let's talk about the evacuations and what's going on in this neighborhood now, because this is not a neighborhood people should be heading toward for any reason, right?
That's correct. Right now, we have the entire block of Daly evacuated. We had 400 block of Wolf evacuated, but those persons have been allowed back in their homes. We've taking people to 4th and Porter to be housed for right now that live on Daly Street, and they will be let back into their properties as fire board deems necessary.
So what goes on now? We've seen some front-end loaders going down the street. We've seen firefighters going down the street with their picks and axes. What's the next step as you try to clean this up and investigate, I guess, simultaneously?
Well, basically, each individual organization is going to do their part. L&I, the gas company, electric company, as well as the individuals that are clearing the debris. We as the police department will be guided by their direction. We'll secure the area, and then our units also will investigate it as well.
Are we pretty sure there's nobody left in those buildings or in what's left of those buildings at this point?
Yes, we've pretty much accounted for everybody.
So I guess that's the one good news. We only have one serious injury, unfortunately for that person, but the other people taken to hospitals not so seriously injured, and we're pretty sure there's nobody else left in there at this point.
That's correct.
And the power's off still to a lot of this neighborhood, right?
The power has been turned on.
Well, thank you very much for that information. It's been really helpful. Lieutenant David Merrick of the police department giving us some direct information that we've needed. And again, as he said, this is an ongoing situation with the cleanup underway and also with the investigation going on. As you can see, the front end loader just pulling down the street right behind us here as we're speaking. We'll send it back to you.